Lieutenant General Talley is in charge of the entire reserve operation in this country. Sends a strong message that he would come to this event and promote the trucking industry as having viable opportunities for reservists. One of the reservists came up to us at our booth, and when they saw General Talley, they were amazed. They had no idea he was going to be here. He recognized him and realized right then that this was a bigger deal than he thought it was.
The U.S. Army Reserve is a worldwide organization with an operating budget of approximately $9 billion. Unlike active duty, Army Reserve soldiers serve part-time, allowing them to earn an extra paycheck, go to school, or work a civilian job while still maintaining many of the benefits of military service. Lieutenant General Jeffrey Talley is the 32nd Chief of the Army Reserve Organization, and he joins us now to discuss how the Reserve is assisting soldiers with employment to allow them to be financially, mentally, and emotionally ready to perform their wartime mission when called upon. Thank you so much for joining us here on Hiring America.
Thank you for having me as part of your program.
What specific fields are truly suited for a reservist?
So the Army Reserve is a little different than the rest of our great Army. So the regular Army, which we call Component 1, is mainly brigade combat teams, so combat formations. And our great National Guard, which is a state force, is brigade combat teams for the most part. But the Army Reserve are all technical careers. So most of the doctors and nurses and lawyers and logisticians and broadcast journalists and anything that requires advanced technical skills, those capabilities are almost exclusively in the Army Reserve.
Tell me a little bit more about the balance that a reservist needs to maintain between a civilian life and their military career too.
Well, I will tell you, from personal experience, it's actually difficult. What I tell soldiers is I want you to be a leader in your family. I want you to be a leader in their community, because we're a community-based force. And I want you to be the very best in your civilian employment and not worry so much about being a reserve soldier. I want to focus on that citizen part of the citizen soldier, because if I get the first three, I'm going to get a soldier for life. But if you get the first three out of balance, there'll be reasons why you won't be able to stay in our Army Reserve. And so we focus on the citizen piece, and the soldier piece follows.
What is the private-public partnership?
When I came into the position Chief of Army Reserve and Commanding General Army Reserve Command about 3.5 years ago, we in the Army Reserve had created the Employers Partnership Program that became so successful it was replicated throughout all the services and components. And what I want to do is to make it more than an employment program. I wanted to make it a program where we could create a platform where private sector, for-profit, not-for-profit, and academia and the public sector could partner with the Army Reserve to help their organizations and also improve readiness in the Army Reserve.
In what specific ways have you seen this partnership encourage the collaboration between the military and private sector?
So we got about 7,000 partners right now. And so an example would be, so let's go to individual readiness. One of the biggest challenges we have in individual readiness is soldiers and their family members tend to spend more money than they make. So what we do is we bring in different people that are celebrities that are experts at advising on how to save their money, be more fiscally responsible, and we can bring in different banks. And what they do is they come in and provide that training free of charge, and in turn, we get a good partnership going. So that might be an example of individual readiness. We've got different fitness people that are celebrities in fitness, and they'll help promote physical fitness. We have companies like General Electric that will partner with us with medical capability. There's just so many different examples of projects we're doing here in the U.S., but also overseas.
You just returned from California, where you spoke with a number of companies about the partnership.
I did. We had a pretty busy week. We met with Uber. Uber is interested in helping the Army Reserve in terms of employ family members and soldiers. We met with a printing company that is very interested in helping us with an app. So I could give you lots of examples, but in the day, just like here in Chicago, these are private organizations and public organizations that want to hire Army Reserve soldiers and family members.
You've worked with such diverse companies, GE, Major League Baseball, the healthcare sector. How do you help match reservists with opportunities at these companies?
Well, the first thing we do is, what I tell the private partners is, first off, don't partner with us unless there's something in it for you. Yes, we love the fact that you love veterans, that you love soldiers, you love their families, but I want you to be a little selfish. I want you to think specifically, what is something that you need in terms of generating value in your organization? Tell us what that is, tell us the capabilities that you need, whether it's individual or collective, and then we will bring those qualified individuals to you at no expense to you, And we'll bring you people that will show up to work on time. They're technically competent, they're drug-free, they're physically fit, they're all about team, and they're very, very loyal. And what you'll find is you'll get great value in those soldiers, and we get great value in that relationship.
Well, it's outstanding seeing General Talley here and supporting this kind of effort, because that kind of effort from that level within the chain of command always has a positive effect. And basically, if you get that kind of support from the top down, you're going to see a massive influx of employer and employment interfacing.
You have an extremely impressive resume. Tell us about your military experience.
Well, I've been in the Army now almost 34 years. I came in the Army initially on a ROTC scholarship. I thought, well, I'll get my college degree, I'll serve for a few years, and then I'll get out. And I love being a soldier so much, I'm still here after all these years. But again, I've been really blessed. I've been able to do whatever I've had unique opportunities in a civilian career while I continue the military career. So I've had the pleasure of being a tenured professor in academia, a CEO in the business world. I've had so many great opportunities both in the military and civilian sectors, and I would have never been able to do that if it weren't for the Army Reserve.
And what was the balance like for you?
It was difficult. I would be dishonest if I didn't say difficult. But again, because my spouse is so supportive and the kids are so supportive, they would be willing to help me balance and focus on not getting too far out of balance with respect to the military, civilian, and the family responsibilities.
How else is the Army Reserve reaching out to the military community?
Well, we try to reach out through a number of ways. One is we reach out through the government as we're part of the Department of Defense, but we also reach out again through our families and through our civilian employers, but also through our private sector. And what we find is, again, we're trying to focus on that citizen part, because if I just focus exclusively on the military part, then your family might say, well, hey, you're neglecting your family, you're neglecting your civilian career if you're an employer, and we don't want you to do that.
What advice would you have for reservists looking to maintain that balance between their military career and their civilian career as well?
You've got to be the best at what you do, or you will not be able to stay a soldier for life. So what I ask them to think about is you need to look in that mirror every day, and if you're not completely happy where you are in the civilian sector and in the military sector, it's your fault. Because you can do anything you choose to do as a civilian, and you can do anything you choose to do in the Army Reserve. And if you're not happy or content or feeling challenged, you need to plug into the private-public partnership program. Let us get you a different career opportunity. Let us get you the right assignments in the Army Reserve, and you'll be a more contributing member of society, and you'll be a great leader in our armed forces.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Hiring America.
And thank you for what you do to help veterans and all the members of our armed forces and their families.